Steph, you look surprised every single time. Look, what happened? What's happening? Hey, it's Madison Chase, and welcome to It's Yes or No. It's your entertainment source or news option, and I'm Madison Chase, and all the way in Wisconsin, we got my girl Stef Z. Say hey to the people.
What's up, party people? Oh yeah.
I love it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so Steph, you're going to do the story and ask the questions. So we have to tell the story of how this story came about. Steph sent me a text message and she was like, she got chills watching this Olympic event. So Steph, take it away.
So I'm a huge fan of the Olympics, and I've been watching a lot of it. I've been watching probably all the swimming, the women's soccer until we lost, just all kinds of stuff. And I believe it was over the weekend or the end of last week, I was watching swimming and I saw Simone Manuel win the event for the 100-meter freestyle. And it was the first time an African-American had won an individual event in swimming in the Olympics. And it, like, not only, I just got the chills again, not only did it bring chills and a tear to my eye, and I cry a lot at the Olympics, like I really do. The amount of passion, determination, and just that these people put into the dedication. And there's a lot of other things like the golf, or you know, there's other things, the soccer where there's the World Cup, but when it comes to the swimming, there's no, like, the athletes train for the Olympics. Like, the Olympics is the number one, and in some other sports, there's not. So it's really, you know, a lot of fun for me. Is your phone ringing, dude?
Yes, can you hear it?
Yeah, I can.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. But it's really passionate because, like I said, swimming, people train for the Olympics. Like soccer, it's like, is there the World Cup or is there the Olympics? Basketball, is there the NBA Finals or is the Olympics? It's like, there's different stuff. So to see this woman, and my computer is completely spinning right now, I'm not able to read the facts, but I know a lot of the facts. To see her win that 100-meter freestyle and her face, the excitement, the energy that was exuded when she hit the wall, turned around, and realized that she had won and she had gotten a gold medal. And yes, she had tied, and a Canadian woman got gold as well, but it's still a win, it's still a gold, and it's still history in the makings. Like, this has never happened before. And what this does for people, she's 20 years old, and
wow,
for her to be so aware, what she said when she was asked about the significance of her accomplishment, she says, I definitely think it raises some awareness and will get them inspired. I mean, the gold medal wasn't just for me, it was for the people that came before me and inspired me to stay in the sport. For the people who believe that they can't do it, I hope I'm an inspiration to others to get out there and try swimming. You might be pretty good at it, which that in itself, again, chills. Now, another thing is she's been rooming with another Olympic great, Katie Ledecky, who's been cleaning up. So two greats, again, not separated by color, by anything, two women that want the same goals, rooming together in Rio and kicking ass, really, is what they're doing. And to me, it's just so inspiring. And you know, I feel like this, for me, one of the reasons why I thought of you is because, A, you know, history for African Americans, you're, you know, one of my dear friends, and we talk about a lot of stuff, and I feel like when there's history for you, there's history for me, because we embrace it together, we talk about it together, there's a lot of things that happen together with you and I. And then it also brought up a lot of questions around why this has taken so long, why this is such a big deal. And I know that in this platform that you and I have, we can talk about this stuff. So that's kind of why some of the questions that I came up with.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay, so question number one is, I want to know why there's such a stigma around Black people swimming. Because there is, right?
No, that's a really question. And I think when it comes to African American swimming, we could either go back to like getting over here to America. What did we come in on? Ships, slave ships. So, I mean, and I don't know if it's that deep, but I think if we don't look at the history of water and Black people, but also think too, it's not something that we do on a regular basis when it comes to Black women and their hair, and kind of the thing that we celebrate in our community is our hair. And so we tend to spend a lot of money on our hair, whether it's whether it's weaves, wigs, hair products, like that whole industry it's not new to us, but it's also an industry where people realize how much money Black women spend on their hair. And here's the thing too, I hate when people try to make it a stereotype that Black women are the only women who wear wigs and weaves. Every woman that you see on television, from Jennifer Lopez, from the entire Kardashian family, all of them have wigs and weaves, probably not wigs, but definitely weaves and extensions that they wear in their hair. And they might be going to somebody that Black people have historically done. So I think when it comes to swimming, it's not something we do on a regular basis because it tends to jack with our hair. And when you look at kind of how our hair functions, we need moisture in our hair. So when we get in the water, it takes the moisture out. So, where you guys wash your hair on a daily basis because it collects oil, we need the oil. So there's that difference when it comes to Black women in our hair. And even though I think you wear swim caps or whatever, you're still being exposed to chlorine, which is basically salt, which is going to dehydrate our hair. So that's probably why you're not going to see a lot of Black women in can you hear Callie barking? Callie, stop it. No. Yeah, so that's my answer to that question. I don't know if this is going to inspire Black women who have to manipulate their hair so much to want to swim. I think there are probably other things we would rather do instead, like running, because we, you don't necessarily have to get your hair wet. You might get sweaty and water with chlorophene, two different things.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you brought that second question. And, you touched on running. There's a stigma that Americans are runners. So it's interesting how that all works. But yeah, I think this will encourage more African Americans to swim or to try it. I mean, she clearly said it. Simone said it. I hope this will be like, we're good. Like, we have the cardio. Like, there's a lot of things that she was alluding to that we could be very good at this sport. We just don't try. So do you think that, her breaking that barrier as representation will encourage some little girls somewhere to want to swim?
Here's the thing about swimming, like any Olympic sport, when you look at the financial burden it probably cost her family, even when we look at Gabby Douglas and we see the sacrifice that her mom made for her, to compete, it's such an expensive thing. And even if we look at Tiger Woods, like the average African-American family probably doesn't have that discretionary income to pay for their child to actually compete on that level. So
right.
It may encourage people, but the access and the affordability of that sport will possibly limit. Now, if Simone Manuel starts a nonprofit organization where she's teaching little girls, even if we look at Venus and Serena, like their dad was their coach. I don't know if he played tennis before, but when we look at our, predominantly African-American communities, we look at the resources for parks and, public parks and public swimming. And, when you look at the tax dollars that actually benefit additional opportunities for us to do additional sports outside of the normal little league football, typically those sports are not something that we do on a regular basis because it's very limited access. So yeah, and it's interesting too because I was driving by Beverly Hills and I saw their police department is right there, and that it said August 28th. There's a free pancake breakfast, and I was like, would that happen at Compton, LA? Police department? Probably not. So I think different tax dollars support different things in those communities, and I don't think in predominantly African American communities, there may not be the resources for young girls and boys to learn how to swim or to play tennis or to play golf. Because I definitely think Tiger and Venus and Serena are great examples of sports that we typically don't do. But then you see that their fathers, Tiger's father actually played golf and he was really good at it. And so he taught his son what he knew. And again, with Venus and Serena, their dad taught them again. So you had someone that actually, guided their footsteps as far as being the amazing athletes that they are in those individual sports.
Right. All right, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. It's actually a really good explanation. And hopefully it will. Hopefully someone will see what Simone has done and get behind this and create more programs for the youth so that this can be possible. All right, now my last question, I'm going to do something that we usually don't do. I'm going to make this a little bit personal. And I want to know, can you swim, girl?
Can I swim? Actually, I can do a lot of things that probably the normal African-American woman doesn't do, but swimming, my mom made sure that when I was going to the Boys and Girls Club after school, not only was I taking ballet classes, and not only did I go to a private school, but my mom made sure that we took swimming lessons. So I know how to swim, backstroke, float, doggy paddle, all of the above. So I am,
girl.
I'm probably one in I don't know very many of my friends. I would have to ask. I probably have to take a poll and ask my friends, you know how to swim? But for the most part, I could say a lot of women that I know and men do not know how to swim. And I think, again, it goes back to resources and kind of accessibility in our communities. But, unless you have that parent who's like, no, you're going to learn how to do A, B, and C. And my mom was kind of one of those moms. Like, I have a great mom, and she made sure that I knew how to do things that were kind of out of my reach. Like, I traveled overseas when I was 14. Right. And that's pretty amazing and incredible that I was afforded that opportunity. Like, my first passport was when I was 14 years old.
Yeah, no, a lot of that matters. Well, just, I'm a really avid swimmer. I actually swim as my form of exercise. So if any of you had to swim, next time I'm back in LA, I'm happy to give some swim lessons.
Yeah, okay, yes, well, that could be one of the things. It's yes or no swim lessons. I love it.
We can go down to like 24-hour fitness or even go to the ocean or outside Santa Monica pool somewhere. There's where you can do it, and we'll just have a swim class.
I love it. We could totally do that. I'm all about it, Steph. And I'm really hopeful that Simone Manuel will start some kind of nonprofit organization. And I know Bill and Melinda Gates, they give a lot of money, to organizations that are up and coming. So maybe that's something that someone will champion for her to start her own nonprofit organization to get more young boys and little girls of color to start swimming so we could see more Olympic gold medalists in individual swimming events.
Awesome. I really like that. I hope that happens too. I really do. More people got to be talking about this for that stuff to happen.
I agree, Steph. And that's why we're having a conversation. So thank you, Stef Z, all the way in Wickety-Wick, Wisconsin. I'm your girl, Madison Chase, and you can find me. Again, it's yes or no. So we want to know your thoughts and opinions. Can you swim? Would you encourage your young child or your son or daughter to actually start competing in swimming to eventually become an Olympic gold medalist? So we want to know your thoughts, your concerns, your questions. And you can find me on YouTube on One Mad Chase. You can find me on Twitter at Madison Chase Fit. My website, Madison Chase Fitness, Madison Chase Media. And I'm also on Instagram. I think it's Madison Chase Fitness as well. So thank you, Steph. Where can everybody find you?
Thank you, Madison. That was super fun. Everyone can find me on Instagram and Twitter. I am Stef Z, so that's IAMSTEFZ. My YouTube page is Stefztv, and you can find me back here with Madison doing more of these videos. So hit that subscribe button and keep us in your conversation.
Yes, and you know what, Steph? I want to try to start getting a schedule of having these conversations, because I told you there was a guy who wanted to join in on one of the conversations, which is exactly what we want. So I think if we try to create some kind of schedule, I know you're super busy with your radio show and all that.
Yeah, we can do that. It'd be great.
Yeah, so maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to try to come up with a time. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for leaving your comments, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.